My friend Alex died 3 months ago, and his contact is still pinned at the top of my chats. I haven't had the courage to delete it. His last message to me is still there, too. A stupid meme he sent 20 minutes before the crash. I never replied. I was busy. Now that unread blued is like a bruise I keep pressing just to see if it still hurts. Yesterday, I came home to an empty apartment. It was one of those evenings when the silence feels heavier than noise. I tossed my keys in the bowl, dropped onto the couch, and did what everyone does. Pulled out my phone and started scrolling nowhere. At some point, I opened Alex's chat. I don't know why. Maybe I wanted to torture myself. Maybe I wanted to feel like he was just offline. I stared at his profile photo, him squinting into the sun, stupid grin, wind messing up his hair. I thought about that night when my phone rang and I didn't pick up. When the next call was from an unknown number and a stranger's voice told me Alex was gone. My battery dipped into red. I locked the screen. A few minutes later, my phone vibrated again. I almost didn't check. Probably spam. Or some notification from an app one forgot I had installed. Then I saw the name on the screen. Alex. For a second, my brain refused to understand what I was seeing. The name sat there, calmly, like it had every right to be. Like it hadn't been silent for 3 months. New message. Sorry I haven't answered. Are you home alone? Everything in me went cold and hot at the same time. My pulse hammered in my ears. I just stared at the words. The typing bubble was gone. Just that sentence. My first thought was the only logical one. Someone must have gotten his old number. The carrier reassigned it. Some idiot was texting a random stranger, not knowing what the name meant to me. I forced my fingers to move. Yeah, who is this? This was my friend's number. The delivered tick appeared. No typing, bubble. I sat there, phone in shaking hands, staring at the screen like it might bite. The reply came as an image. No text, just a photo. I tapped it open. It was my window. My kitchen window. Same curtains. Same crooked blind I've been meaning to fix. The photo was taken from outside the building, from the street or the yard, zoomed in just enough that I could see the faint reflection of my kitchen cabinets in the glass. The timestamp said now. I froze. The hair on my arm stood up, every tiny follicle reacting like a field of antennas. Slowly, like something in a bad dream, I turned my head toward the real window. The curtains were drawn exactly like in the photo. The same slice of light leaked through the gap. But outside, as far as I could see, the street was empty. No one at the sidewalk. No one near the building. The sky was dark, the kind of deep city blue that swallows details. My phone vibrated again in my hand. New message. You're looking in the wrong place. I'm already inside. I read it twice, my brain tripping over the words. Inside. Inside where? I stood up too fast, the room spinning for a second. Then I moved. Bedroom. Door wide open, bed messy, exactly how I left it. Bathroom. Shower curtain pushed aside, tiles still damp from this morning. Closet. Just clothes and cardboard boxes. Hallway. Silent. The refrigerator hummed in the kitchen. The clock on the wall ticked, too loud. Enough, I muttered aloud, my voice sounding small. Who is this? This isn't funny. I checked behind the couch, under the dining table, even opened kitchen cupboards as if a full-grown person could fold themselves into them. Nothing. No one. Just my empty, suddenly hostile apartment. Back in the living room, my phone lit up again. You walked past me 3 times. Another message appeared immediately after, before I could respond. Alex didn't see me either. Right before the crash. My mouth went dry. My fingers hovered over the screen, useless. How are you doing this? I typed. Who are you? 3 dots appeared. Vanished. Appeared again. Whoever it was, they were taking their time. Finally, you're asking the wrong question. You should ask where I am. I swallowed hard, feeling my throat bob. Okay. I typed, forcing myself to breathe. Where are you? The reply came instantly. Look at the last photo we took together. My thumb hesitated, but curiosity and fear had already taken control. I went to our chat history, scrolling upward. Past old jokes, drunk photos, stupid plans. There it was, the last selfie we'd taken together 2 weeks before his death. We were at a bar, arms slung around each other, flushed from alcohol and laughter. I opened it. At first glance, it was the same picture I remembered. Me on the left, squinting, mid-laugh. Alex on the right, eyes bright, his grin wide and alive. Neon lights smearing the background. Then I looked closer. Behind us, near the corner of the frame, something was wrong. Between our shoulders, in the blurry background, there was a shape that hadn't been there in my memory. A patch of darkness where there should have been crowded barn noise and bodies. As I zoomed in, the pixels grained, but the shape took on a horrible sort of meaning. It looked like a figure, taller than us, standing just behind Alex's shoulder. No face, no clear features, just a vertical smear of shadow that somehow had the unmistakable outline of a person leaning in. Even zoomed in, even distorted, I felt it. Something had been standing with us that night. My chest tightened. My tongue felt too big for my mouth. You see it now? Another message buzzed. Is this some kind of edit? I typed quickly, fingers stumbling. Did you Photoshop this? How do you even have this picture? The answer came. I was there when you took it. I'm in a lot of your photos. You just never looked hard enough. I went to my gallery, hands shaking. Another photo. New Year's Eve. Fireworks exploding overhead. There we were, a crowd of us, arms raised. And there, behind us, near Alex, another vertical smear of darkness, too tall to be anyone I knew. Another picture, a trip to the lake last summer. Alex on the pier, back to the camera, looking out at the water. At the tree lean to the left, in the shadow between two trees, the same shape. Watching, I backed out, heart pounding so loud I could barely hear the clock anymore. You saw me at the hospital too, the next message read. You just didn't realize. I thought back to the cold fluorescent waiting room. The nurse telling me they had tried. The way everything felt distant and underwater. I never even went into your room. I whispered to the empty air, but the phone vibrated. You didn't have to. I went with him. My skin crawled. The apartment felt smaller by the second, walls inching in. This isn't Alex. I typed, more to convince myself than anything. Alex wouldn't do this. For a long moment, nothing. Then, Alex didn't see me. Just like you. I was in the car with him. In the passenger seat. He thought he was alone. Another message followed, a heartbeat later. People are always so sure they're alone. My eyes flicked around the room. Every doorway looked too dark. Every corner seemed to thicken. You say you're inside, I typed. Prove it. The typing bubble appeared and stayed there this time, pulsing. My muscles were so tense they hurt. The photo that arrived was darker than the others. Grainy, taken in low light. For a second, I couldn't process it. Then I recognized the pattern of the fabric. The armrest. The coffee stain on the edge. It was my couch. The picture was from behind me. In it, I sat hunched forward, phone in my hands, head tilted down. The back of my neck exposed. The outline of my shoulders sharp under my t-shirt. And behind me, just at the edge of the frame, taller than the couch, something else loomed. A column of shadow where there should have been empty air. A suggestion of a head leaning down, of something close enough to touch the back of my neck. Every hair on my body stood up. My stomach lurched. I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't felt anything. My phone buzzed again. You passed me 3 times when you searched, the message read. I watched you walk by. I was right there, and you never even turned your head. My breathing turned shallow. Why are you doing this? I typed with numb fingers. Another pause. The answer came slower this time. I'm not doing anything. I don't need to. You're the one who opened the chat. You're the one who kept the number. You're the one who keeps replaying his last message. You invited me back in every time. The room seemed to tilt. My grip tightened around the phone so hard my knuckles ached. What are you? I asked. There was a long delay. Long enough that I started to hope the conversation was over. Then, I'm what you don't look at. I'm in the blind spots. Rearview mirrors. Dark corners. Reflections you scroll past too fast. Another message, almost gentle. I was with Alex when he stopped seeing the road. I stood in the spot his eyes didn't check. I'm the thing he didn't notice. Something wet slid down my wrist. I flinched and realized my palm was sweating so much it was dripping. My phone vibrated one last time. Now I'm with you. You're checking your phone. You're not checking everything else. You've looked away from me 4 times since we started talking. The final message arrived before I could answer. Don't turn around too fast. It's worse when you see me all at once. The screen went still. No typing bubble. No new messages. The apartment hummed around me. The refrigerator. The clock. The faint traffic outside the window. I sat there, frozen on the couch, the glow of the screen burning into my retinas. And somewhere just behind me, in the space my eyes refused to go, something waited, patient and tall.